Okay. Welcome to GRCAM Virtual Interactive Conference. This is our last conference for the year. And before I introduce my special guest again, I want to say that yes, I am a victim of Willie Lynch, and that's okay. I'm not ashamed to say that I need some help. I need help from the global African family as well as the Black Grassroots. Again, all I'm trying to do is encourage you all to purchase my revised book, first and foremost. And this, the name of my book is The Solution for Black America: Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. It's available on Amazon in two forms. I recommend people purchase the ebook. That's the cheapest for $9.99. You can download it to your smartphone. And I'm going to have the link in the comment section below this video podcast. That's all I want people to do first and foremost. Secondly, I want to encourage African immigrants within the United States of America, as well as like minded Black Americans beyond Chicago. Um, if you agree with my vision and plan to help improve Black Chicago, you will automatically become a GRCAM member. I want those persons that's here in the United States to consider being part of our film project team. So that way we can you'll work with me directly so we can raise funds for this film project and get this film project fully funded and made. Then that's going to put me in a better position financially where I can move from behind a computer, purchase property here in the city of Chicago, buy office equipment, hire qualified Black middle class professionals, as well as qualified African immigrants to help turn, my vision and plan into a reality. And most of all, for us, which is GRCAM members, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement members, to build the best African American business within the United States of America, and that would be the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. That's all I'm trying to do. Make our presence known on the west side of Chicago and eventually on the south side of Chicago. And how do we help stop the genocide in American ghettos? By getting our Black youth out of the streets, out of gangs, and we let them use their talents and skills in within our business, and we'll teach them, as well as work with families from broken homes. We want to serve those families in the low income African American community. My goal is for GRCAM Chicago to become a tax base in the African American community. Now, once we do that, then I'm turning the business over. Because in the book, I did say I would like it to be in 25 other cities to replicate it. But doggone it, I've been pushing this business idea for the past 34 years. And that's enough. I don't want to spend the rest of my life bogged down with Black American issues. I want to bring my business to the African continent. But we got to get it popping here in Chicago first for credibility. That's all I'm trying to do. With that being said, I'm going to bring on our special guest speaker for today, Pastor Angela Marie Davis from Chicago. All right, woman of God, you're on the air.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Emmanuel, I thank you for allowing me this opportunity to come on and speak about the um, issues in that we have within our community as Black Americans, and also the Willie Lynch letters, which I got and gained a lot of information just by watching that particular video via YouTube. It shedded a lot of light on why we are where we are as an African American community, and also what steps we need to take to move on from a lot of the negativity and a lot of seeds that were sown within our race as an African American race from beginning of slavery times. And so I'm just elated to have this opportunity to speak, but um, I'm not really sure as to how at this point um, what where to really start, but I'll start from this point. The Willie Lynch letters was a very important um, it's very important information, number one. And I think, first of all, I think this is the Willie Lynch letters is something that needs to be introduced. I'll put it like that, introduced, not just within our schools, but also within our ministries, within our neighborhoods and our communities, because I believe it will open up knowledge and understanding again as to why our people, when I say our people, I'm talking about African American people, are in the state that they're in at this point. And again, gives us some answers as to how to begin to correct some of those things that have transpired within our community. Some of it is self-inflicted and some of it is not self-inflicted. But we got to start somewhere. And I think the Willie Lynch letters would really begin to broaden and open up some understanding as to, as I said it before, why we are where we are at this point as an African American community. I did want to share something. I had the opportunity to speak with a gentleman who is from Africa. And in our talking, it was just, I was, it bothered me a little bit because one thing that happens concerning the Willie Lynch letters, it put us at odds with one another. I don't know if you know how deep that is. It's so deep to the point where you have Africans that are I say brothers and sisters who are from Africa, Cape Town, and all of those other places who hate on us. Those of us that are African American here in America, for many reasons. And one of the things that this gentleman shared with me was, or he actually made a statement. I guess he was trying to hurt my feelings, which he didn't. I want to make that quite clear. But he made a statement and said, "I have a country. You the one that don't have a country." And I said, well, why would you say that? Why would you make that statement? And really, where that statement came from was the fact we were talking about Obama being the first black president. And he was saying, or he felt as though Obama hadn't done anything for the African American community. And I said to him, I beg to differ with you. And I began to try to explain to him, if you're that unhappy about being here in America, because first of all, what you're doing here in America, you could have never done where you came from. That's number one. You would have been in a much worse shape where you came from than by being here. So how dare you then take and throw pot shots at another African American person who was in office? And I told him, I said, one thing you have to understand, there were powers that were in that White House that blocked him at every turn that he made, because the president alone does not make decisions. There's the Senate, there's the Congress, so on legislature, there's all of that. All of that comes into play when you're dealing with laws that are passed and so on and so forth. I said the president is not a standalone guy. He doesn't stand alone. He has people that he works along with that says, okay, we think this is a good idea. No, we don't think this is a good idea. They'll pass a bill. They may not pass a bill. And I said, so you can't sit up here and blame one man for the ills of our community, or the lack of it, or the lack of opportunities within our community. Some of it is self-inflicted. It's just like the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, and it does. You can't sit and blame the mother and say, well, why don't that mother do this, or why she's not doing that? Where's the father? You have to ask that question. So I said, as a community and as a race, sometimes we have a bad habit of wanting to pass the buck or put the situation over on one person and blame one particular person, when really it's never one particular person. It's all of us collectively. We have a part to play. Now, once we figure that out, then we can decide, where do we go from here? What is it that we have to do as individuals? Because it first starts with the individual. An individual has to make a decision. What can I do to help change the dynamic of my neighborhood, the dynamics of my community? What can I do to booster or to uplift my people and make them understand that you're worth having good a good community to live in, a community that's not trashy, a community that's not riddled with murders and robberies and all these different and child snatchings and all these kind of things. We have to first look at ourselves individually. Then once we get ourselves together individually, then we'll be able to come together collectively and begin to get something done. But the problem is, we sit around and we blame, we pass the buck. We say, well, oh, it's not me, it's them. Oh, it's not me, it's those people over there. No, 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 no. We have to first take full accountability for the part we play in a situation. Okay, once we do that and be real with ourselves, not shuck and jive ourselves, not, try to snowball over the issue. No, deal with the real issue. I want to mention something. There was an incident that happened downtown Chicago with a bunch of kids. Okay, and a lot of people were saying, well, where are the mothers? Nobody ever said, well, where's the dad at? They just they automatically blame the mothers of those kids, but those kids also have a father. Those kids, they also belong to a community. So we can't keep saying, well, it's the mother, or it's this person, it's that person. No, we have to come together and stop being petty. Stop being petty. Stop trying to be in competition with one another, because it's not about that. And help our young people become the people that we know they have the capacity to become. But it takes a village, and it takes people being honest about where we are and how we got here.
I agree, woman.
And I want to bring this point out too. I think I mentioned it in the last Zoom that we had, is that there used to be a time, Emmanuel, and I got to go back to this, that our foundation as African American people was church. We took our children to church. We shut down our businesses to go to church. We put God was the center of our lives. In this day and time, God is no longer the center. The sports is the center. Our jobs are the center. Our entertainment is the center. Once we get ourselves back to where the root of where we used to be, I believe then we'll see a whole lot of change. But we gotta start reaching out. I've heard people say the church needs to come out of the four walls. Well, I can honestly say that the ministry that I'm a part of, we go outside the four walls quite a bit. Even so much so that we have people that move from out of state to come and be a part of the ministry. So, you know, it first starts with caring. You got to show people that you care. You can't just talk the talk, but you have to walk the walk. And that's another thing we don't do. We do a whole lot of talking and we do less doing. We do a whole lot of wagging our fingers and telling people how negative they are, the negative side of things, rather than introducing some positive incentives to get people to want to change and to want to do something different. We need to get a hold, first of all, of these single mothers, these single households where the mother is working, the child is left at home to fend for his or herself for hours and hours at a time. They're bored, they have nothing to do. And so, what do you expect? They're going to end up hooking up with some group of kids or a group that's not, doing, things they shouldn't be doing because by nature, kids can be very, very number one, they're inquisitive. Okay, they when they get bored, they're gonna find something to do. Now whether that something to do is positive or negative, that remains to be seen. But most of the time, because they're kids and they have no sense of how to analyze what the crowd that they're dealing with, and they want to fit in, majority of the time they're going to go along with the crowd. And if the crowd is going somewhere to rob a store or do whatever, or cause mayhem downtown Chicago, they want to fit in. So guess what's going to happen? They're going to follow the crowd. And there's nobody there saying, hey, wait a minute, you're better than that. Be a leader, not a follower. You be an example. Just because the crowd doing it don't mean you have to do it. You be the drum major. You lead them in the direction you want them to go. Don't let them allow them to lead you. These are some of the things that need to happen within our communities. Um, and then we really don't have any recreation centers for the children or in the young people. A lot of funding and things have been pulled, and so on and so forth. So, as a community, as a community, we've got to come together. But my main point is we've got to first make the main thing and get back to the main thing, and that's God. We got to start reintroducing our children to God. There used to be a time in the household that the parents said, "You're going to church." No, you didn't have no choice on whether or not you was going or not. You went. Now, I know a lot of people say that, well, I'm not going to force my kids because I want them to make their own choice. But as long as they in your house under your roof, it's what you say. Now, when they get grown and they decide they don't want to do it, then that becomes their decision. But I go back to what the word of God says. It says, train up a child in the way he or she should go, and when they're old, they will not depart. But if you want them to have something to fall back on that's positive, you got to put some positive into them. You've got to sow the seed. So what kind of seeds are we sowing into our kids? Hip hop, sports, gaming. We sowing everything into our kids but God. So then when they start getting teenagers and preteens and they are confronted with peer pressure, they don't know how to handle it. They have nothing to compare anything to, because all they've been given is sports, gaming, baseball, or just other things that really don't feed the soul. We have to start giving our children things that feed the soul. And allowing them to develop a moral compass. A lot of our kids don't even have a moral compass. That's why they can go out here and shoot one another and it don't bother them. It's like, oh well, there's no moral compass. When you take God out of the center of your life, anybody, that's anybody, this is across the board. What you're saying is, I don't need God. I could do this myself. No, you can't, because life has a way, excuse what I'm getting ready to say, of whipping your behind. And only God is the one can make sense out of something that don't make sense. But if you haven't even been introduced to God, you don't even know that's an option. Do you understand what I'm saying? We go to other things, drugs, alcohol, women, sex, and all this kind of through pornography and all these different things. When you don't need all of that, but we think we do because we don't think there's any other option, because that's what's been introduced to us. Sex is on the TV, sex is in the store, sex is on the street. All you got to do is look at the summertime. When summertime, the weather gets around somewhere 50 degrees or higher, people walking around half butt naked. I mean, so there's no moral compass anymore. So we got to get back to what really mattered in the African American community. The church was the stability, literally, of the African American community. That's what kept it stabilized. That's what kept it centered. And it's no longer that. It's other stuff. We focused on education, and there's nothing wrong with education. But why be an educated fool? I'm just gonna put it out like that. You got book sense, but you don't have common sense. So it's just a lot of things, and some things can't be taught in a schoolhouse. Some things can't be taught on the street. Some things have to be taught in the home. And some things you learn in the church. That's why it was so important that the African American community back in the day, they made it their business to go to church. They reverenced God enough, and they trust God enough. I'm going to shut my business down. I'm going to shut my life down, if not but for this one day, and I'm going to go to church so I can have enough strength to get me through the week ahead. Because I don't know, and they really did. They really leaned on God. Now, we didn't got educated, got nice cars, houses, and all that. And we just think we got it going on and we don't need God. But God is now showing us, oh, you need me. Because look at your communities, look at your households. They in disarray, So we really need to get back to that. I know I've said a mouthful, but we really need to get back to the main foundation, and that's back to being God-centered, where the parents, they prayed with their children in the home. They prayed at the dinner table. They ate together at the dinner table. The parents asked the kids, how was your day at school? Blah, blah, blah. We had home cooked meals. Now kids, everything is McDonald's, Burger King, fast food. Most kids don't even get a home cooked meal, because we're living in such a fast-paced world. Drive through, pick something up, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking that. It's okay in its own. It's okay for a minute, but you don't want to. You want to begin to encourage interaction with your children, interaction with the young people, get them talking again. We so busy being busy. We don't even sometimes know what our kids are into. We don't know what they're doing. Half of the time, we don't even know who their friends are. So we got to get back to where we become God-centered. I'm huge about that. A lot of the things, I just turned 57 years old. Oh, I'm putting my age out there. I just turned 57 years old. And one thing that I'm grateful for, Emmanuel, is that I had a parent. And even though my father was living, and he bless his soul, rest his soul, he's deceased now. But my mother, most of the time, basically was a single parent. My mother took us to church. I'm thankful that she did that because now I'm 57 and I don't have a lot of baby daddies, a lot of babies and don't know who the father is and all those kind of things. And one of the reasons why that is because my mother kept us in church. And within the church, they had things for the young people to do. There were things that kept us busy, kept our mind occupied, kept our mind from wondering and trying to try certain things and wanting to try certain things because we was too busy having fun in a good kind of way. We were involved in Girl Scouts and and got little Boy Scouts and different things. And my mother had us where we traveled. So it's things like that you have to keep young people. You have to keep their minds occupied in a positive way. You have to keep them busy. You can't allow them to be idle because it's really true that the idle mind is the devil's workshop. Keep them, engulfed with positive things, And I know in this day and time we live in, it's hard because, some people go through financial issues and things like that. But I think even more so, if we can just come together, we can create our own. We sitting around waiting for somebody, oh, give us this funding, give us that funding. No. If we can come together, for just each community come together and say, you know what, listen, we're gonna put our funds together, whatever we have, and we're gonna start to create a space, a safe space for our young people. You don't know how God will bless that and allow other people to see what we're doing and begin to sow into the positivity that we're trying to convey. But you first got to put your best foot forward. You got to start it. You can't wait for somebody else to do it. You got to do it. Now, with that being said, this year, 2026, what I usually do, because I'm connected to a ministry, we're doing a coat giveaway this December. Can't remember exactly what the dates are. I'm gonna give them to you, so the next one you have, you can put it up. We give away coats, we give away gifts to the children. Every summer we have what we call Greenwood Fest, and anybody can come. You don't have to just be a part of the immediate neighborhood to come. We have people come from all neighborhoods. They come, they do all kind of things with the kids, face paint, all kind of things. But we try to engage the community.
Just a moment, woman of God.
Yes.
Please be Pacific and tell my listeners the name of your church, and
Okay, sure.
so that
You
way they
did
can
ask me
find
to
it.
Yeah, you asked me to do that and I got kind of carried away. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm actually associated or a member of New Life Covenant Southeast. Pastor John Hanna is my pastor. He just celebrated a birthday this month as well. And I am a pastor, associate pastor. And so, I also have a personal ministry, but my personal ministry is Worldwide Empowerment Ministries. That's my personal ministry where I do things in the community, outreach and things of that nature. But that is the ministry that I am affiliated with. That is my covering. New Life Covenant Southeast, Pastor John Hanna is my pastor. Also, man of God. It is located at 7621 South Greenwood Avenue. And I just invite people to come and just, enjoy God with us, enjoy the services. We have actually three services. We have a 7:30 a.m., we have a 9:30 a.m., and a 12:30 service as well. p.m. service. So, if you're, happen to be in the area, you're looking for somewhere to go, please feel free to come and fellowship with us. We would love to have you. Now, me personally, you can reach me if you need to reach out to me, if you need help with something. My personal email address is anointed12020@gmail.com. I also have an email that is associated with the ministry that I'm affiliated with, and that's A Davis at I have to think about A Davis at NL let me see NLSEC no NL NLSCE dot I'm sorry, it's really difficult. It's A Davis at New Life Covenant Southeast. So it's the initials New NLSE help.org. That is my email address that is associated with my ministry that I am affiliated with, which is New Life Covenant Southeast. So you can reach me at either one of those email addresses, and so on, and I will definitely get back with you as soon as possible. I usually answer pretty quickly when someone reaches out to me. And if there's any, thing that I can help out with, like I said, community wise, I'm more than willing to do it. Just recently, we went to the Ronald McDonald House. I did my ministry, Worldwide Empowerment Ministries, and we showed some love to the parents of the children at the Ronald McDonald House. We gave them some things, some clothes, socks, different things like that, just to and some gift bags, just to uplift their spirits while they're there, supporting their children who are being treated at the Children's Hospital here in Chicago. So we do a lot of different things, and sometimes we have. I stay in a senior building, so I've done things here in the senior building. So if you just have something that you're doing and you want me to be involved or you want me to help, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will definitely get back.
Okay, woman of God, do you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I do. I just
Well,
want to say,
oh,
I
okay.
just want. uh
I said, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, Emmanuel, I want you to be encouraged. I know you said you've been at this for a long time. It's just a matter of these Zooms that you're doing being seen by the right person. Um, and I'm going to, when I begin to start when I'm doing this beginning of 2026, the beginning of 2026, I'm going to take the Zooms that you and I have done, and I'm going to post them as well. Um, and hopefully someone, it'll just catch fire, that someone will see it and begin to catch the vision that you have. I've been praying for you. Literally, I have that a door will open for you. But I want you to listen to me, and this is out of wisdom. When you're talking about your vision, you have to sometimes make sure that you don't come across as pushy. And what I mean by that is because sometimes when we're so as passionate as you are about a thing, sometimes not to everyone, but to some people, the way we're pushing it, it becomes like we're being pushy, and that causes some people to back away and say, "Oh, I don't have nothing to do with that because he come across too pushy," and that's not what you want. You want it to appeal to people and not dispel people or cause people to move back and say, "Oh, he too pushy." So just keep that in mind. That when you're introducing your vision, talking about your purpose and what you would like to see, because I mean, it is my desire to help you with this. I really do want to help you see you get this off the ground. And I'm been praying about who do I know that this would interest, because everything doesn't pique everybody's interest. And sometimes people are so tied up with whatever they're doing that they don't even have time to really listen and understand and hear your heart about what you're trying to do. So we're just going to continue to stay prayerful about this, because I believe at some point there will be a breakthrough. There will be a breakthrough. Now, I don't know who is your alderman?
Oh, oh yeah. I prefer not to say, woman of God.
Okay, okay,
Only
I
reason
got
why is
you.
because I reached out to a lot of them, and everybody's like all about themselves. They tell me,
Yes.
go talk to this
Well,
person, go talk to that person. So I'm through with all that.
yeah, okay, okay. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm in the fourth, I believe fourth district. I know my alderman personally. I know him. Matter of fact, I have his phone number, email. I know him. So I'm even going to I'm going to reach out to my alderman,
Man,
and see what we can come up with, because I really believe that this information and message that you're introducing will have a positive effect on a lot of our communities. And I one thing I know about him, the alderman in my district, is that he's very passionate about building up communities, and building up our people, and having us have positive um, 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 experiences. Okay, and so I will this week. I will reach out to him. I know this is the end of the year, but I'm still going to reach out to him and see what we can do to kind of get this out there, to
well,
get what you're trying to do out there. Yeah.
well, woman of God, all I'm saying, I just want people to read my story first and foremost. And those people that agree with the vision and plan automatically becomes a GRCAM member. Those are the people I really want to connect with. I wrote this story,
Okay.
I wrote my book in order to recruit brave and smart people around across the world. But
Okay.
and I thank the Lord for that. I did what the Lord placed in my heart. Write the vision and make it plain. The book,
Hmm.
the book of Habakkuk. So I'm grateful for
Okay.
that.
Now,
Yeah.
my other question to you: have you tried going to like on a Sunday, like, well, not on a Sunday, but like maybe like, yeah, even on a Sunday, like, or calling these